Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome to the CUC softball field here in River Forest for a NAC conference opener between your Concordia Chicago Cougars and the visiting St. Norbert's Green Knights. Both these teams kicking off conference action after wrapping up their non-conference seasons. And for CUC, it was a solid non-conference season, 7-7. Finished it with a doubleheader split against North Park this past Wednesday. For St. Norbert's, flip the script. Not a great non-con for the Green Knights, coming off of a 10-game trip to Florida in the Space Coast and winning their first game in Florida, losing the next 9 straight, and they come into today with that 9-game losing streak. This is a team that struggled to find their footing in non-con, but if they could find their footing when they start conference, that's exactly what they want to see out of their squad, and they'll be coming up to bat first. Led off by Zoe Sasada, Grendel Sprong, and Ava Engwall. Batting 1, 2, and 3. Batting 4th, Carly Linson. Batting 5th, Magdalene Handman. Batting 6th, Morgan Hansel. 7th, Haley Melizova. 8th, Morgan Jarvie. And 9th, Andriana Voles. On the mound for the Cougars today, pitching against that line to start off is Morgan Hofek. Hofek saw time on the mound on Wednesday against North Park. She's back out on the mound for the Cougars to kick this one off. Her battery mate today is number 12, Jess Gang.
And this is a St. Norbert team, Jonathan, that they really need a win. And like you said, non-con did not go their way. They spent the majority of the time in Florida outside of their first game just kind of getting rocked, losing 9 in a row. So they're hoping that, they're here in Illinois now. They're in conference play. Maybe this will be the start of things turning around for them. If they can pick up some wins here, hey, you start 2-0 in conference, you got a fresh slate, and you can just hopefully bounce back and get the season to a point where you're happy with.
Leading off is Zoe Sasada. Sasada on the season, batting .214. She's played in 10 games. All those games she has started. She's hitting as the designated player today for St. Norbert's.
One of the issues with the St. Norbert's team is that their batting has been very inconsistent. As a team on the season, they've only got a .253 batting average. They just haven't been able to get the hits and score runs at the rate they would want, and that's what's caused them to end up, losing 11 of their 12 games.
Umpire gives the play motion to Hofek, who winds and fires high for ball 1. Hofek coming into today, pitching with a 3.50 ERA. She has 10 appearances, 18 innings pitched through those 10 appearances. 9 earned runs allowed. As she fires away pitch 2, and that's right to the shortstop, Campos, over to first for out number 1.
Very efficient play by Morgan Hofek here with batter number 1. 2 pitches, 1 out. And we've seen that when she's on and when she can find the strike zone, she is a quick pitcher. She gets the batters out just like that. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, and that middle of the infield. I mean, the entire infield is strength for this Cougar defense. That middle infield of Arissa Santos and Alyssa Campos, a rock-solid unit for the Cougars as Hofek fires that outside for ball 1 on Grendel Sprong.
Yeah, we've seen that center of the infield just really turn some great plays and some good double plays this season to get runners out on the base pass and to beat batters, especially when it comes to bunting.
2-0 count on Sprong. Hofek fires, and that's fouled off over the visiting dugout for strike 1. Sprong coming into today not having a recorded at-bat.
So, she'd love to get a hit in her first at-bat of the season.
As she takes that low, ball 3.
Even then, she'd just love to get on base and give St. Norbert a base runner that the following batters, Engwall and Linson, can hopefully move into scoring position and end up scoring.
And that's ball 4. Sprong heads over to first base. The first walk of the day for Morgan Hofek. And through her 18 innings pitched, she's given up 9 walks, making 18 and a third and 10 walks. As up to the plate steps Ava Engwall, the right fielder.
And we've seen, especially the starter games, Hofek's a little bit iffy with her control. She has a little bit of trouble kind of settling in and finding the strike zone. But once she's able to find the strike zone, she's almost automatic. So you just hope that she can find it early here today.
And Engwall fouls that back. Engwall, one of the more consistent batters on this St. Norbert's team, hitting .320 on the season, getting on base at a rate of .433. And that's exactly what you want out of your top of the order. Get on base, start manufacturing those runners around. You already have a man on and only one out. As there's a second pitch, well high. Just got caught up in Hofek's hand for ball one.
And again, something that St. Norbert's been struggling with has been getting runners on base and scoring them. So now that they have one runner on here, and again, with only one out, this is a position that they're happy to be in. They want to be in positions like this where they have good opportunities to bring runners around.
And that's high and outside for ball two on Engwall. Hofek winds, fires, and that's fouled off again, this time all the way to the playground for strike two. Makes it an even count on Engwall. Carly Linson on deck.
You know, Hofek would love to just get strike three and right here, put it on 2 outs.
As Engwall fouls that back, she'll stay alive. Engwall has made contact. She's making the contact she needs to. She's just not able to barrel it up. She's not able to put it in the right direction. But making contact is already a good sign. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that's in the right direction. That's out center field. Morris tracking back, drops it at the wall. Schroll gets that into second for out number 1. A base running blunder for Grendel Sprong.
Looked like Sprong thought that the ball was caught, so she started going back to first and then couldn't adjust in time. And a good play from Morris to just throw it to second and get the force play at second.
Yeah, and that's on a combination of your first base coach and Sprong to not be clear on where the play is. That should be an easy. Runners at first and second. Now you still have a runner at first, but now you have 2 outs. As that's a grounder right to first, fielded by Lorenas, and that does an inning number 1. St. Norbert's, they get a couple runners on, but they end up stranding one at first after a base running blunder. We head to the bottom of the first. Cougars coming up to bat. It's Garcia, Gang, Lorenas. Still in an even 0-0 game right after this. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. It's the bottom of the first, and the Cougars coming up to bat for the first time today. Number 22, Emily Garcia, leading off for the Cougars. Jessica Gang batting second. Maya Lorenas batting third. That's her first 3 batters up for the Cougars. On the mound for the Green Knights is Bailey Thielen. As Thielen fires that first pitch in for a strike. Thielen has the second most appearances on this roster, 8 appearances, 26 1/3 innings pitched, 7.71 ERA. She's given up 29 earned runs through those 12 appearances as Garcia fouls that off towards the home dugout. for strike 2, but Thielen already having a strong start to her day with an 0-2 count on Garcia.
Yeah, Thielen's good on the mound. She's got 17 strikeouts on the season. She also has 12 walks to go with it. So, like with the other main St. Norbert pitcher, Amber Johannick, control is just something that she's been struggling with over the course of the non-conference season, which is now hoping that she can remedy here now that we're in conference play.
Well, it's not the 12 walks the biggest concern with Bailey Thielen. It's her opponent batting average. Opponents are hitting .441 at the plate against her. So if you can keep it over the plate, that's great. But if you're not able to put it over the plate in a spot that's hard to hit, then your opponent's just going to hit that wherever they want. And that's what batters have been doing to Bailey Thielen all season long.
And they've really just been kind of racking hits all over the field against her. You look at their stats on the season, giving up 128 hits total.
3-2 count on Garcia. Steps back in with a full count. Worked her way here from an 0-2 count. Thielen winds, fires, and Garcia lifts that to left field. And the play is made by Hanman for out number 1. Garcia fights back, but can't get it in play.
Yeah, good effort by Garcia to get back from that 0-2 count, make it a full count. But in the end, ended up being an out for St. Norbert all the same.
So with 1 out, Jessica Gang steps up to the plate for the Cougars. Gang, the catcher for Concordia Chicago today, comes into today batting .386. Slugging .545, the highest slugging percentage of any of these Cougars.
Mm-hmm. Also second on the team with 10 RBIs on the season. Leads the team with 17 hits as well.
0-1 count on Gang. Make it 1-1 on the ball, low and in. St. Norbert's with a wide middle infield. Thielen fires, and Gang pops that up foul. It's off the backstop for strike 2.
Yeah, looking at that gap in the infield, if Gang can put one right past the pitcher, Thielen, that one's into the outfield, and she is safe at first.
1-2 pitch on its way, and Gang lifts that to right field. Engwall settles under it for out number 2. Cougars put him deep into the outfield on 2 at-bats straight, but it's right at the defense. And with 2 outs, Maya Lorenas coming up to the plate, and Maya Lorenas had a rough day to her standards against North Park on Wednesday. Batting average dropped over 100 points to a horrible .417. Lorenas having herself a year so far.
Well, as you mentioned, going into that day against North Park, she was batting over 500. Now, as you says, only a measly .417. So you know she'd love to get that average back up a little more today.
0-1 pitch on the way. Lorenas, that's the right field again, and that is going to hook foul. Strike 2 on Lorenas.
Both the second baseman and right fielder gave chase on that one, but neither one were able to come up with it.
Little wind here in River Forest today. It is blowing north.
Yeah. Not as bad wind as we've had last couple games, but still got a little bit nonetheless.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's high for ball 1. Good take. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. No runners on the base paths for Lorenas. Thielen fires, and Lorenas pops that up towards short. Play is made by Sprong, and it's a 1-2-3 inning to start the day for Bailey Thielen. Makes quick work of the Cougars' top of the lineup. And we head to the bottom of the second in an even 0-0 game. St. Norbert's coming up to the plate in just a minute.
We're good.
Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Top of the second here in River Forest. It's a 0-0 game as St. Norbert's comes back up to bat. Magdalene Hanman stepping up to the plate. The 5-hitter in the lineup today. Takes that first pitch well high for ball 1. Hanman, she comes in today batting .303 on 30 through 11 games started.
Tied with Morgan Hansel for most hits on the team with 10 apiece.
As she takes that right on the edge of the zone. Strike 1. 1-1 count now.
Nice pitch by Hofek to just find the inside of the zone and paint it there.
1-1 pitch on the way. That's popped up to short right. Campos on the move into foul territory and drops it. A gift for Magdalene Hanman. As Campos kept moving north, the ball kept drifting north, and it ends up bobbling out of the glove and foul.
Now Hammond with a second chance here, hoping to make the most of it.
1-2 count. Pitch on the way. That's well high and outside. Got caught up in Hofek's hand again. That late release cropping up again. And it's a 2-2 count.
And we've seen that a little bit over the course of the season. She'll have some balls that just kind of end up soaring out of her hands.
2-2 pitch on the way. And that's off the outside of the plate. Full count on Hanman. Hofek winds, fires. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Hofek gets her first K of the day. Hanman trots back to the dugout after getting recorded as out number 1. And up to the plate comes Morgan Hansel. Backstop getting her first look at the plate today.
Leading batter for St. Norbert with a .323 batting average.
Off the outside of the plate, ball 1. .323 batting average, but compared to the rest of the top players on that lineup, she struggles to get on base. Only a .344 on base percentage. Ball 1 strike, as that's outside for ball 2. And Hofek still not consistently working the edges of the zone, but able to find it a little more consistently over the last 2 batters.
That's what you want to happen. If you don't have it right at the beginning, you just want it to get more and more as the game goes on.
2-1 pitch gets fouled back off the backstop. Even count now on Hansel. Melizova on deck. Jarvie in the hole. 2-2 pitch on the way. That's high. Makes it a full count again.
Hoping that this full count has the same result as the last full count, which is a St. Norbert out and putting out number 2 on the board.
Hofek winds, fires. That's fouled back. Hansel will stay alive. And again, Hofek went back to that high heat. It's how she got Hanman swinging, looking to get Hansel swinging with the heat up in the zone. And that ability to make contact just keeping her alive. There's a 3-2 pitch. Hansel draws the walk. It's only the second walk she's drawn on the season. Hofek runs it way inside. And so the man on first and 1 out, Haley Melizova, will come up to the plate as we have our first mound visit of the day. Cougars looking to get Hofek a little break, trying to help her dial in on the zone a little more.
Yeah. And Hofek's still in a good spot. There's only 1 runner on first, 1 out. You just got to get 2 more outs. Heck, if you can get a nice double play ball here, boom, boom, you're right out of the inning. So just hoping that get her on track, help her to be able to better find the strike zone more consistently, and just let her pitch her way out of this one.
Haley Melizova coming up to the plate for the first time today, and Melizova Nothing super notable about her stat line. It's not bad. It's not great. One of the more average hitters on this St. Norbert team, hitting 280 on the season coming into today. Hofecht winds, fires, and Melizova fouls that back for strike one.
St. Norbert batters have been able to make good contact, so they've fouled off a lot of pitches, so they're just hoping that eventually they'll be able to straighten the pitches out, make better contact, and keep the balls fair.
0-1 count. Pitch on the way. That's high and outside for ball one.
Getting eyeing down Hansel at first after that one. St. Norbert don't really steal bases. They've only attempted 2 stolen bases on the season, and to be fair, they were successful both times.
And Melizova pops that up over towards first. Lorenas is there to make the play, holds Hansel at first. That makes it 2 outs. And a runner at first for Morgan Jarvie, who's stepping up to the plate for the first time today. Jarvie coming into the day. Less than desirable stat line at the plate, hitting 219, only getting on base at a 324 percentage. As she stands in and takes ball one.
As you said, Jarvie not exactly making big waves on the stat line, but again, hoping that this is the start of conference play, hoping that she can get everything figured out here.
That's off the outside of the plate again. 2-0 count on Jarvie.
Good attempts by Gang to frame the pitch, but unfortunately a home plate umpire did not bite on it.
2-0 pitch fired in. Grounder up the middle, fielded by Campos. Over to Santos for out number 3. A nice catch and pitch. 5 in the second baseman to the shortstop. Cougars middle infield comes up strong again. And it's 4 batters for 3 outs for St. Norbert's. For the second inning in a row, we head to the bottom of the second. It's still scoreless, 0-0 here in River Forest. Cougars coming up to bat in just a minute. Welcome back to River Forest. It's the bottom of the second. Cougars coming back up to the plate. Went 3 up, 3 down in inning number 1. And leading off, standing in to take ball 1 is Melissa Hajik. 1-0 count. Thielen, a very strong inning of work. Start off her day on the mound, but she starts off with 2 balls straight to Hajik.
Hajik's coming in today, got a .316 batting average, 12 hits. Actually leads the Cougars with 11 RBIs on the season.
2-0 pitch on the way. And that time, Thielen catches the outside edge for strike 1, so she gets herself into the count. 2-1 now.
Able to hook it in instead of facing a 3-0 count. Now she's got a 2-1 count to work with.
Pitch on the way. Swing and foul tipped back by Hajik makes it an even count.
Thielen hoping that she can get Hajik out here, and despite starting with a 2-0 count, next 3 pitches will just go boom, boom, boom. Hajik's down, up next to Santos.
2-2 pitch, winds, fires, swing and a miss high. It's in the dirt, but that's over to first easily. Hajik brought out the defensive stance. Thielen just went as high as she could, and she gets Zeke down on strikes. Another fourth straight out to start the day for Thielen, who is cooking out on the mound. And her next opponent is Arissa Santos. Santos homered to right field against North Park on Wednesday, as she stands in and takes ball one outside.
Yeah, very good day for Santos against North Park. In that second game where the Cougars won 8-5, she had 2 hits and 2 RBI.
1-0 pitch. That's high for ball 2. So another 2-0 count to start for Thielen. Thielen gets the call, winds, fires. Just a bit too high. 3-0 count for Santos. Thielen in a hole. Show fire. And she catches the inside edge.
If you're Santos, you know that Thielen's got 3 balls on you. So she's got to throw it in or at least very close to the strike zone.
And she does it again. Thielen has been able to hit the zone whenever she wants to. Her command has been there today, and she works herself right back into a full count as Santos watches 2 straight strikes. 3-2 pitch on the way, and Santos fouls that off to Division Street to stay alive.
Santos now hoping that she can straighten one out a little bit and get it into the outfield.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And a runner on for the Cougars. Santos draws the walk on the pitch low. And the Cougars have their first base runner of the day. And with Santos on first, Alyssa Campos coming up to the plate for the Cougars.
Cougars only have 1 out so far, hoping Campos can move Santos to second and preferably get on herself.
She'll take that first pitch high for ball 1. One 0 count on Campos. And that's fouled off over to that alley behind the visiting dugout. 1-1 count. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 runner on. Number 1 at the plate.
1's all across the board.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. That's low for ball 2. They keep Santos at first.
Yeah, Hansel was eyeing her there, making sure that she didn't try to take second.
This is our first look at how Thielen pitches with a runner on. And so far it's been solid. He got a 2-1 count. And she gets the call. 2-1 pitch on the way. And that's low for ball 3. Easily into second is Santos. Saw the ball low in the dirt. A little tough to field for Campos. And middle infield can't get to second in time. Santos taking advantage of a ball in the dirt and a wide defensive formation to swipe second.
And the Cougars are very good on the base pass. That steal there makes them 19 for 21 on the season.
3-1 pitch on the way, and that's a grounder towards short. Short chopper. Sprong gets it over to first for out number 1. Advances Santos to third, so it's 2 outs. Mykyler Morris will come up to the plate for the Cougs.
Number 17, Mykyler Morris.
And now for St. Norbert, hoping that trade is worth it. You got the out, but you also now just got a runner 90 feet from scoring. But again, got 2 outs.
And Morris, first base hit of the day for the Cougs, drives in a run.
By the second baseman and shortstop for St. Norbert's. And we've seen teams kind of have their way on the base pass going into the day. Teams were 40 for 49 when stealing. Now that makes them 42 for 51.
0-1 count on Southern. And Southern fouls that back. Makes it a 1-1 count. Yeah, and you can already see a small adjustment from St. Norbert. I won't be surprised if we see a little more of it as the game goes on. That middle infield just not reacting quickly enough to balls low to go over and cover second. It looks like Grendel Sprong paying a little more towards second. And you start immediately jumping back towards second, same for Melizova right after their pitch. So that middle infield just has to be a little more on their game.
Yeah, as we've seen with those two steal attempts, they weren't even in the area.
1-2 count on Southern. Pitch on the way, and Southern fouls that back.
Able to make contact, sent him straight backwards. Now she just needs to get the ball going forwards.
1-2 count. Morris at second. Pitch on the way. Third foul ball back we've seen from Southern this at-bat.
He's been able to make contact, which is the first step. Now, straighten it out a little bit.
Yeah, just getting under it. She's timing it up well, too. Is just getting under it again and again and again, not hitting the right level. As here's the 1-2 pitch. And Southern pops that foul towards the home dugout. And that gets back behind the dugout, so she'll stay alive. Third straight foul ball. Trying to get something down in the outfield with a runner on second. Thielen steps back up. Wines fires. And that's high. Ball two. Good close take from Southern with 2 strikes.
That was a very good eye. Very good eye to not swing at that one, which just ended up being a tad bit above the zone.
Young Southern working a long at-bat out of Thielen here. Here's the 2-2. That's high again. Full count. Southern works her way back to a hitter's count. Now Thielen has to decide how aggressive she wants to be to get the out here. And she'll take the walk. Pitch down low. And Southern gets on base. And with runners on first and second and 2 outs, that brings Ashley Schroll up to the plate for the Cougs.
We've seen Schroll do a lot on the mound for the Cougs. Now they're hoping that she can use her bat to bring in the runner in scoring position.
And she's been a solid hitter on the season, hitting .308 on the year. And she takes that first pitch right in the zone. Thielen not wasting any time getting ahead in the count.
She saw what happened with her last at bat, where she just tried to paint the corners that ended up not working. Now she's just going right for the heart of it.
That one outside. So 1-1 count on Schroll.
You got runners on first and second. You're hoping that with 2 outs, if you're St. Norbert, that you can just get Schroll out here and minimize the damage that the Cougars can do in this inning. And
Schroll comes swinging, pops that towards right field. Engwall settles under it for out number 3. The Cougars strand 2 runners on, but out before they drive in a run. And it's Concordia Chicago with the first lead of the day. It's 1-0 Cougs as we head to the top of the third. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Top of the third here in River Forest. Cougars lead 1-0 over the Green Knights. Andriana Voles stepping up to the plate for the first time today. And she'll take that pitch on the outside edge for strike one.
Voles has a .267 batting average, but does lead the Green Knights with 7 RBIs on the season. Has their sole home run of the year.
Takes that pitch low and inside for a 1-1 count. Voles, a two-sport athlete for St. Norbert's. One of the top players on their women's volleyball team as well in the fall season. One.
Easy fielding job by Campos. Toss to first. Got one out on the board.
And this time she'll lift that into left center field. That's going to be off the wall. Morris can't field it immediately. In the second is Zasada. And it's the first hit of the day for St. Norbert's. A double to left center field for Zoe Zasada.
First pitch, she launched that thing, smacked it off the center field wall. Morris ran to try to field it, and then the ricochet just went over her head, so she had to immediately turn and run back to it, and that allowed Zasada to get to second.
Ambush working out for another player today. So with a runner on second, one out, Grendel Sprong up to the plate. And Sprong fouls that back for strike one.
And for a St. Norbert team that has had trouble scoring runs this season, this is the situation you want to be in. You only have one out. You had a runner at second. There's no double play options as long as you don't commit any base running blunders.
0-1 pitch, grounded over to second. Campos fields over to first for out number 2. Ground out advances Zasada to third. So it's 2 outs and a runner on third. Ava Engwall will step up to the plate for the best chance at scoring runs the Green Knights have had all day.
And they're hoping that she can do what the Cougars did when they were in this position in the bottom of the second and bring in Zasada to score and not this game at 1.
Takes that first pitch low, ball 1. One 0 count. Hofek deals off the outside edge. 2-0 count now.
And while hoping that she can get a good pitch that she likes and do similar to what Zasada did and just smack it into the outfield.
Now Hofek runs her up inside for ball 3. Engwall twisting out of the way.
Yeah, good play by Engwall to maneuver around the incoming pitch and not get hit.
3-0 count. Hofek fires. And she'll send that right down the middle. Strike 1. Gets herself on the board for this at-bat. Here's a 3-1 pitch. That's fouled back by Engwall, make it a 3-2 count. So Hofek gets herself back into a full count. And again, we'll have to see how aggressive she wants to be with 2 bases open and a runner at third. If she wants to risk giving her something to hit. Here's a 3-2 pitch. That's fouled off to the playground. Actually bouncing off this slide. Engwall stays alive.
Yeah, the question is, if you're a Hofek, do you throw something in the strike zone with a runner on third, or do you try to make her chase, knowing that that if she doesn't bite, you give up a walk?
3-2 pitch on the way. Foul back again. Engwall going defensive. Swinging at anything in the zone. So this at bat, 3 straight balls, a called strike, and then 3 straight foul balls. Here's a 3-2 pitch. That's fouled off again. This time it's to the alleyway.
That pitch actually looked like it might have been a little bit outside, so Engwall swinging ended up keeping her at bat going instead of moving her to first.
Yeah, but it's that defensive mindset. You swing at anything around the zone, not even just in it. As you see that again, that was high and outside, but she fouls that over to the alley. That one bouncing off high up off of Grace Lutheran Church. 5 straight foul balls. Still a full count on Engwall. Hofek fires inside, and she hits her. Drills her on the shoulder, so Ava Engwall wins that at-bat. And that is a productive at-bat. Work nearly 10 pitches out of the pitcher. Fight for it. 5 straight foul balls to stay alive, and you get on first. And you rattle the pitcher a little bit with a hit by pitch.
You can tell that Hofek pitching to the outside didn't work, so he was trying to get Engwall to chase with an inside pitch, but that pitch just ended up going a little bit too inside and plunking Engwall.
And you almost, when you get to an at-bat like that, you have a runner at third, you would almost rather have a 4-pitch walk in that scenario than a 10-pitch at-bat.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Especially if it ended in a free base.
Definitely, because then it helps. It doesn't tire out the pitcher as much, isn't as much strain on her arm that'll pop up later in the game.
So the runner's at the corners and 2 outs. Carly Linson steps up to the plate. She grounded out to first on 1 pitcher last time at the plate as she takes that low for ball 1. 50th pitch of the day thrown there for Hofek.
Hoping she can get out of this third quickly. As you said, 10-pitch at-bat against Engwall.
That pitch is high and outside for ball 2.
And you don't want to walk Linson because that does bring up a bases-loaded situation.
2-0 count. Pitch on the way. That catches the high corner for strike 1.
Oh, in fact, now she's gotten the first strike here on Linson, hoping that she can settle down and find the strike zone for the rest of her pitches.
That's fouled off for strike 2. Engwall was running on a hit-and-run play. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on for Carly Linson. Even 2-2 count. Hofek winds, fires. And that's fouled down the first base line. So Linson now getting into that defensive stance. Swinging at anything around the zone just for contact.
When you're in this position, you got a runner on third, 2 outs. You're hoping that eventually you're going to make contact and you'll get it over the heads of the infielders.
And that's... They're going to say Linson swung on it. Linson trying to argue it went off the knob of the bat.
It definitely appeared to me that it went off something. I couldn't tell if it was off her hand or off the
So it looks like the
though.
umpire is saying it went off of Linson's elbow, but she swung.
It did appear to me that she swung.
She swung either way.
Yes.
It just depends on if it's a foul ball, and it looks like they're going to give it a foul ball.
Okay.
The home plate umpire having his mind changed after talking to Linson and talking to the infield ump. So Linson will step back in still with a 2-2 count. Three straight foul balls for Linson as she fights to stay alive. Hofek winds, fires. Runs that inside. That's a stolen base for Ava Engwall, so now you have free base at first.
And now you don't have to worry about if there's a quick chopper up the middle. You don't have to worry about having an out at second if you're the Green Knights.
3-2 count on Linson. Hofek fires. That's grounded foul down the first third baseline.
And so now again it comes to the question of, do you pitch her something in the zone knowing that you got 2 runners in scoring position, or do you try to get her to chase on something outside the zone knowing that if she doesn't swing, you got bases loaded?
You have Magdalene Hanlon waiting on deck. Here's a 3-2 pitch, fouled off. So Hanman's waiting on deck. So if you walk her, you'll have Handman up to the plate with the bases loaded.
Which is very much not ideal if you're the Cougars.
Handman did strike out swinging her first at-bat. And she'll get another chance at the plate with the bases loaded. Ball 4 inside. Linson heads to first base. 2 straight 10-pitch at-bats that have resulted in free bases. St. Norbert perfecting that defensive stance at home plate.
Now they have by far and away the best position they're in all game so far. Bases loaded. If you can get a good hit, you score 1, maybe 2 to take the lead.
First pitch to Handman is low for ball 1.
And this is when you need Hofek to get under control and really paint the zone. If you walk Handman here, that brings in a run.
Make it a 2-0 count on another ball inside. Hofek already falling 2 pitches behind. Now you don't have any free bases, so you can't have a long pitch battle that ends up with a walk or a hit by pitch. You got to get the out if you want to keep the Green Knights off the board. Hofek fires. That's grounded over to third, but it's botched, and everyone's safe. Hajik can't field it cleanly. And St. Norbert's drives in their first run of the day. Everyone moves up 1, and it's 1-1. And the Green Knights aren't done just yet.
Just a chopper to third. Hajik tried to feel it. Looked like it should have been easy fielding, but just went right off her glove in her chest. And then she tried to make the tag to the runner going to third, but was unable. I got Morgan Hansel hoping to do some more damage for the Green Knights.
And a great defensive play.
That's what I was
at
thinking.
the backstop for Gang. Got up there for that high outside fastball. And now we're going to see a mound visit from Sydney Palaskis-Lauer. Hofek starting to get a bit more wild. This has been a tough inning for Hofek.
Oh, definitely. She had the 2 10-pitch at-bats that ended up with a hit, batsman, and a walk. Then you have that play that scores a run. And so now you're just hoping that you can get some control back here, get the out, and just go into the bottom of the third with this being a tie game instead of the Green Knights on top.
When you talk about manufacturing runs, that's exactly what St. Norbert's are doing, and this is the perfect way to do it by wearing down the pitcher, wearing down the defense, keeping them on the field for a long period of time. You're not being explosive, but you're producing any way you can. Hit by pitch, walk, base hit, errors, anything you can do. And now you still have the bases loaded, 2 outs with a 1-0 count. Hofek winds, fires, and that's fouled off. Hansel got around too early, so a 1-1 count on the catcher.
Hofek trying to get some quick work here with the next few pitches and get out of this inning.
Make it a 2-1 count, and that one off the outside edge.
She's been going for that outside corner a lot. She just hasn't been able to hit it consistently.
2-1 pitch. That's a hot shot into the grounder into the outfield. 1 run scores. Everyone advances a base again. And St. Norbert's has their first lead of the day. It's 2-1 Green Knights on a Morgan Hansel single. And that is gonna be the dagger to Morgan Hofek's day on the mound. We have a pitching change for the Cougars. Coach O'Malley heads to the umpire to make the lineup change. And it's Megan Boska coming into the game for the Cougars. She'll be on the mound still with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Haley Melizova up to the plate right after we take a short break here on the Cougar Sports Network. Welcome to the Cougar Sports Network. We're still in the top of the third. Green Knights, they've jumped out in front 2-1, producing some long-earned runs. And now it's Megan Boska on the mound for the Cougars, and her first pitch runs high and in. Ball one on Melizova.
And when you got a bases-loaded situation like this, you don't need big, deep shots to the outfield. You just need some bloop, dink singles like we've seen the Green Knights get, and essentially you can death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, it's a short pop-up into left. Southern coming up on it. Easy play in left field. The Cougars get out of the inning. Boska gets out of it on 2 pitches, but not without limiting the damage enough. It's a 2-1 lead for St. Norbert's, the Green Knights. Their first lead of the day, and the Cougars, they'll look to respond. We come back for the bottom of the third here on the Cougar Sports Network. Welcome back on the Cougar Sports Network. Concordia Chicago, they're trailing by 1 now after 2.5 innings, and in the bottom of the third, it's right back to the top of the order for CUC. Emily Garcia stepping back up to the plate. Garcia flew out to left field her first time up today. Facing off with Bailey Thielen for the second time today, and Thielen rifles that in for strike one.
When you're in a situation like this where you gave up some runs in the top of the inning, this is who you want coming up. You want the top of the order, the best batters on the team coming up to put the ball in play and hopefully tie it up and give back the lead.
As Garcia lifts that to right field, so now she's flown out to both left and right field as Engwall makes the play. 1 out on 2 pitches already. And up to the plate comes Jess Gang. Gang flew out to right her last time up. And by the transitive property, she would fly out to left this at-bat. And she won't. It's a base hit into left center field. That gets all the way to the wall. She's going for 2. Throw back in, not in time. It's a double for Jess Gang.
That was a great hit by Gang. First pitch, she hit it just out of the reach of the shortstop. Ended up going all the way back to the wall. Now Cougars got a runner in scoring position.
That's the second hit of the day for the Cougars. Like you mentioned, Eric, runner on scoring position. Just 1 out for Maya Lorenas. Lorenas popped out to second her last time up at the plate. And she'll take that first pitch on the outside edge for a strike.
You got to keep your eyes on getting on the base pass. She's 4 for 4 in stolen bases on the season, so she can turn on the Jets when she chooses to.
0-1 pitch.
Oh.
Caught! Great play. Haley Melizova snags that out on the backhand. St. Norbert's middle infield showing their defensive prowess now.
It's a great play by Melizova to catch the ball and prevent Gang from getting to third, and in all honesty, probably coming around to score.
So with 2 outs, Melissa Hajik steps up to the plate. Struck out swinging her last time up, and she takes that first pitch in the zone for a strike.
Hajik has been good in the clutch for the Cougs so far this season. You're hoping that she can get another big clutch hit here.
0-1 pitch on the way. Hajik pops that up to the mound. Thielen is there. Cougars stranded runner on second. Gang doubles. Cougs do nothing with it. They still trail by 1, and the Green Knights will come back up to the top in the top of the fourth. It's 2-1 St. Norbert's. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. St. Norbert's leads 2-1, and Morgan Jarvie, the only Green Knights hitter who did not see the plate in the top of the third, will step up to lead us off in the top of the fourth.
She's hoping that she can continue what the Green Knights had going in the top of the third. Get on base, get a run maybe.
Takes that first pitch in for a strike from Boska.
Boska came in to replace Hofek, made efficient work, got one out in 2 pitches to get out of the inning.
And it's a grounder over to third. Play made. Had Hajik to Lorenas, and that's out number 1. Both outs for Boska on her day-to-day, coming on just 2 pitches. So like you mentioned, Eric, efficient. As up to the plate comes Andriana Voles. Voles led off that last inning, but she wasn't really part of the rally. It was a 2-out rally that St. Norbert's took the lead on, as Voles takes a big swing and a miss on pitch number 1.
It was when it got back around to the top of the batting order for the Green Knights that they started piecing it together and get the runners on and the 2 around to score.
Voles grounds that foul down the third baseline. 0-2 count already on the center fielder. Voles grounded out to second her first time up today.
Boska trying to be efficient, get it back to the St. Norbert pitching as quickly as possible.
That pitch outside, 1-2 count on Voles. Wines fires. That's grounded foul to the visiting dugout. Stays at a 1-2 count.
Good foul by Voles to keep her at bat alive. Give her another opportunity to try to get on base.
1-2 pitch on the way. Popped up towards short. Just over the glove of Santos. Perfectly placed bloop single into the outfield for Voles. And the Green Knights have a runner on first with 1 out for Zoe Zasada.
Honestly, that was just pinpoint placement by Voles. Santos leapt for it, but it was just out of the reach of her glove. She couldn't make the catch. Now the Green Knights got a runner on and 1 out.
And sometimes softball, baseball, it feels like hitting's 50% skill, 50% luck, and you know, it's hard to deny it on hits like that. You're never going to complain about getting one of those. Not a well-hit ball, but right where no one can get to it. As we have a 1-1 count on Zasada. She fouls that off towards the visiting dugout.
And now again, the top of that order is back up for the Green Knights. This is who we saw do some damage in the top of the third. So they're hoping that they can recreate that.
Gets way out ahead of the off-speed pitch, makes it a 1-2 count.
Zasada thought a fastball was coming, and so she swung like it was a fastball. Only for her, it was not a fastball.
1-2 count on Zasada. Boska deals. That's grounded over to second. Campos charging over to first, just in time for out number 2.
Now the Green Knights have a runner in scoring position, but they also have 2 outs now. But this is the position we saw him in the top of the third. 2 outs, and that was when the Green Knights made their rally.
Ball's on second. Big swing and a miss for Sprong, and that's something that we're seeing from Boska that we did not see from Hofek, is the ability to get the off-speed pitch to work. Hofek just could not place her changeup. She couldn't place that off-speed. It was all over the place. Boska's been able to, as Sprong flies out to center field. Morris barely has to move. And St. Norbert's, this time, they strand a runner at second. They just score nothing. It's 3 outs on 4 batters for Boska. It's still a 2-1 lead for the Green Knights. However, we head to the bottom of the fourth. We're halfway through the game. Cougars coming up to bat, looking to get back in this one. They trail by 1. Welcome back on the Cougar Sports Network.
Leading off for the Cougars,
Arissa Santos up to the plate to lead it off for the Cougars. Santos drew a walk her first time up at the plate. Thielen still out on the mound to do work for St. Norbert's. Gave up a double, made quick work of your other three batters she faced in the bottom of the third. And she deals a first pitch ball to Santos here.
As you said, Thielen's been doing good work, being very efficient, last inning outside of that double. She got the other three batters out quickly.
1-0 pitch in the dirt to make it a 2-0 count on Santos.
Santos hoping that she can get on base now to start a Cougar comeback. Only need one to tie it up.
3-0 count. That pitch low again. So Thielen's worked herself into a hole and start off the bottom of the fourth.
Thielen's been good with her control so far.
And she finds it there. Breaking ball catches the outside edge for strike one.
And again, with 3 balls, you kind of got to debate whether or not you want to go for the strike zone or go for a chase.
And just off the outside edge, couldn't get Santos to bite, so it's another walk on the day for the shortstop. So the runner on first and no outs, that brings up Alyssa Campos.
Campos coming up, good situation. You got no outs, you got a runner on first. Hoping to move Santos into scoring position.
And Campos fouls that straight back to the backstop. Strike one.
First time this inning that Thielen's been ahead in the count.
And Santos running down to second, just beats the tag. Throw wasn't strong enough from Hansel to get there in time.
Yeah, throw was a bit in the dirt there, and as a result, Sprong just kind of had to run over and stop it from getting past.
Yeah, better throw there. Would have had Santos. She got a, but just low off the glove of Hansel. Looks like she wasn't prepared to throw it down.
So I shouldn't expect Santos to be going on it. And now we got a runner in scoring position with no outs. And a 2-0 count. If you're Thielen, hoping you can get the out here, make it so that you still have a runner on second, but you at least have one out.
1-2 pitch on the way. That's grounded foul down to the visiting dugout. Stays at a 1-2 count.
Hard hit ball. Just wasn't able to stay foul. That was going very much left from the moment it left the bat of Campos.
Thielen steps back up to the mound. Winds, fires. That's off the outside edge, 2-2 count.
Good eye by Campos to let that one go by.
Two balls, 2 strikes, runner at second, no outs for the Cougs. Thielen fires, that's high, ball 3, full count. Campos working himself in this direction. We saw it from St. Norbert's perspective back in the top of the third. You work yourself in the full count. That chance of good things happening increases as Thielen fires. That's ball 4. It's a free base for Campos.
Thielen in disbelief at that one. She turned her head at her coach in the dugout. It's like, I thought that one was a strike. Campos should be going to the dugout, not to first.
And now we're going to get our first mound visit of the day for Bailey Thielen. This is the best start to an inning the Cougars have had. That bottom of the second where they scored a run, that was a 2-out rally. Now you have runners at first and second, 2 men on, no outs still for the Cougars. And you actually have the batters that were part of that 2-out rally. McKyler Morris, Lindley Southern coming up to the plate now.
Yeah, this is exactly who you want coming up to bat just based off this game. If you're the Cougars, you got 2 outs. You got some speedsters on the base pass. You know Gang can or sorry, Santos can run, so well hit ball, moves him to second and third, maybe even scores one of them.
Yeah, and that is the strength of this Cougars team. The depth of their starting lineups, top to bottom. You don't really find very often a hitter on this Cougars lineup that isn't much of a threat at the plate. You always have to be wary of something that can always make an impact when they're up to the plate. And now Morris already has an RBI on the day. She steps up to the plate with runners at first and second and no outs. And she watches that go high for ball one.
And now if you're Thielen, just kind of got to settle down here. That you thought you had the out with the last batters, but now you just got to focus, throw some strikes.
Catches the outside edge. So now she has a 1-1 count on Morris. And Thielen averaging just under 4 innings per appearance. Just over 3 innings per appearance, whichever way you want to put it on the season. Trying to get through 4 here in River Forest. As a 2-1 count on Morris. That one going high and in. And Morris grounds that over to second. They'll go to first for the easy play. And so Morris grounds out but advances both of the runners. So with 1 out, the Cougars have runners at second and third. And we'll have our first lineup change of the day for the Cougs.
And if you're the Cougars, you'll take that trade because you moved both runners in scoring position. Now you still only have 1 out. And now there's no threat of a double play ground ball. So a hard hit ball to the outfield probably scores Santos from third, or just a well hit ball that's not caught probably scores them both. And you take back the lead.
Up to the plate for the Cougars, number 14, Esbe Luvano, pinch hitting for Lindley Southern. And she watches that one go off the outside edge for a ball. 1-1 count for Luvano.
If you're Luvano, you're just looking to make some good contact here.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, and Luvano pops that up towards second. Melizova on the move for the play. And now with 2 outs, the Cougars are in danger of squandering a 2-runner on, no out opportunity.
And now if you're Thielen, you only got to get 1 out. You don't have to worry about a deep sack fly. Now if you just hit a fly ball to the outfield, that's the end of the inning.
Runners at second and third for Ashley Schroll. Schroll popped out to short right field her last time up at the plate. She takes that first pitch for a ball. One 1-0 pitch on the way. Schroll takes that high for ball 2.
You do have an open base at first if you're Thielen, so you can kind of dance around the strike zone a little bit, try to get Schroll to swing at a bad pitch.
2-0 pitch. Schroll grounds that over to second. Easy play for St. Norbert. And Thielen gives up the first 2 runners on and then locks in for 3 straight outs. They keep the Cougars off the boards. It's still a 1-run lead, 2-1 St. Norbert's as we head to the top of the 5th. Green Knights coming up to bat. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports and Network Ava Engwall leading off for the Green Knights. And that looked a lot harder hit than it was off the bat. So a great play on the mound for Megan Boska. Takes a medium line drive straight at her for out number 1.
1 pitch, 1 out for Boska.
I mean, we talked about a little bit last time the Green Knights were up with that Adriana Voles single. Baseball, got a lot of skill, but also a lot of luck involved when you're at the plate. That one, that's a solidly hit ball at the plate for Engwall, but that time the luck doesn't work out, and it's straight at the pitcher. 0-1 count on Linson, make it a 0-2 count as she fouls that one off down the third baseline.
And again, the theme of Boska's pitching so far today has been efficiency. Trying to do that now. If she gets a K here, that'd be 2 outs on just 4 pitches.
Oh-2 pitch, well outside from ball 1.
Trying to get Linson to chase out one way off the plate, but Linson did not bite.
And Linson flies that to left field. Charging is Southern. Not going to be able to get there in time as it drops foul. Stays a 1-2 count on Linson.
Southern made a good run from left field, but just couldn't get there quite in time.
And there's a grounder over to third, fielded by Hajik straight over to Lorena. So that time, Hajik fields it perfectly. That's out number 2.
Ball bounced almost straight into her non-glove hand, and she was just able to rocket it over to first for out 2.
So with 2 outs, Magdalene Handman up to the plate for St. Norbert's. And Handman pops that up down the first baseline. Lorenas is there for the play. And another efficient inning for Megan Boska. 3 up, 3 down. They keep the Knights off the board again. St. Norbert's still leads by just 1 as the Cougars get ready to come back up to the plate in the bottom of the 5th. Emily Garcia leading off once again when we come back. Welcome back to River Forest. It's the bottom of the 5th here at the CUC softball field. Cougars back up to bat. And that pattern continues as Emily Garcia, who led off the day, leads off the bottom of the 5th. And she will ground out on that first pitch straight to Grendel Sprong. And it's 1 pitch and 1 out for a new face on the mound, Amber Johannick. Out on the mound for St. Norbert. So that is the end of the day. 4 innings pitched for Bailey Thielen in her best start of the year. Went 5 2/3 against Grinnell, gave up no earned runs. Did give up 8 runs, however, through a few errors. Today, 4 innings pitched, no earned runs, only 1 run allowed in total.
And if you're the Green Knights, as you get into conference play, you're hoping Thielen can keep that up for the rest of the season.
1-1 count on Gang. Gang doubled to left center her last time up at the plate. Cougars weren't able to do anything with it.
The Cougars have been able to put base runners on, they just haven't been able to bring them around to score.
As Gang lets that go low for ball 2. 2-1 pitch on the way. And that runs in for strike 2, so even count for Jess Gang. Off the outside edge, the pattern does break, and Gang draws the walk. She heads to first, so the Cougars get a runner on with 1 out for Maya Lorenas, and Lorenas has continued her rough streak at the plate. 0 for 2 on the day, still looking to get back in the hits column.
Yeah, she's definitely hoping that she can break that kind of drought that she's been in here, get a good hit, get Gang to scoring position, and help spark the Cougars' comeback.
First pitch off the edge for a ball. 1-0 count. As she shows bunt, pulls back, Gang going for second. Throw is wide right again. Hansel couldn't get it there in time as a good jump from Sprong at short to try and cover. So it's another stolen base for Jess Gang. Does get called for a strike as Lorena showed bunt, but the Cougars have a runner in scoring position now with 1 out. Johannick fires. That's off the outside edge for a ball.
I believe with that steal by Gang, Cougars are 4 for 4 on the base paths today. Haven't been caught stealing yet.
2-1 pitch. And that's caught again for a double play. Another line drive snagged out of the air for Haley Melizova.
And that was just a fantastic play by Melizova. I thought that was getting past her, and I thought Gang was going to third and probably coming around to score, but nope. Melizova makes a catch, flips it to second for the out, and just like that, Green Knights are out of the inning.
And Gang thought that was getting to the outfield too. Didn't even think for a second about hanging back at second. Double play gets the Knights out of the bottom of the 5th. We head to the top of the 6th. Still 1-run lead for St. Norbert's. We come back on the Cougars Sports Network. Welcome back to Concordia Chicago here in River Forest. St. Norbert's leads 2-1 as we head to the top of the 6th. The Green Knights coming back up to the plate. Morgan Hansel leading off for the Green Knights. Picked up an RBI with a single in the top of the 3rd for St. Norbert's. First time she's seen action at the plate since then, as Megan Boska out on the mound for another inning of work for the Cougars. Deals a first pitch ball to Hansel.
And last time Hansel was up, she had Morgan Hofek pitching to her. This is the first time she squared off with Buska.
And catches his own for strike 1. It's been an efficient day on the mound for Buska. We've said it again and again, but got through 2 1/3 innings with just 22 pitches tossed. 1-1 pitch. That's grounded down the third baseline foul. Just a little bit too left for Hansel. Sets up a 1-2 count.
Boska hoping that she can keep her efficient streak going. St. Norbert's got a 1-run lead, but, you know, they would love to add on a few more insurance runs.
1-2 pitch on the way. Off the outside edge, ball 2. Two pitch. That's grounded to third under the glove of Hajik into the outfield for a base hit. It's another single for Morgan Hansel, and the leadoff batter is on for St. Norbert's. Runner at first, no outs for Haley Melizova.
That was just a great hit ball by Hansel. Hajik reached, it was just under the tip of her glove. So now it looks like St. Norbert's bringing in a pinch runner.
Pinch running for the Green Knights, number 4, Ava Champeau.
Pinch running over at force for St. Norbert's.
Now batting second baseman, number 15, Haley Melizova.
It's a good situation for the Green Knights to be in. You got a runner on first, no one out.
And there's a short grounder for out number 1. Boska gets it over to first.
So ultimately the sack bunt did what it set out to do. Moved the runner into scoring position at second base.
Number 1, Morgan Jarvie.
And now you hope that Morgan Jarvie can get a real good hit into the outfield and add another one in the score column for the Green Knights.
That's grounded foul down the third baseline by Jarvie. Jarvie 0 for 2 on the day with a pair of ground outs, yet to get on base.
Back the last second when she realized it was low and outside.
1-1 count.
Back the last second when she realized it was low and outside.
1-1 count. That's grounded right up the middle for a base hit for Jarvie. Champeau holds at third. Jarvie into second on the throw home. And now St. Norbert with just one out, have runners at second and third. They're threatening again with Andriana Vols coming up to the plate, and the infield is going to convene for a quick chat with Boska.
And for the Green Knights, like I said, you got runners on second and third, only one out. You don't have to worry about a double play ground ball now. Again, as long as there's no base running blunders, but ground ball, depending on where it's hit and how it's played, could end up bringing in a run for the Green Knights.
Vols 1 for 2 on the day, single her last at bat. A single here would bring in at least 1, maybe 2 for St. Norbert's.
Yeah, Jarvie's got some wheels, so if she just hits a well-hit single, that could end up bringing home 2.
That one catches the top of the zone for a strike.
This is the most trouble we've seen Megan Boska be in all day. Up until now, she's been very efficient with her pitching.
A 1 pitch. And that's fouled off of Vols' shins for strike 2. 0-2 count. Zoe Zasada on deck for St. Norbert's. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's outside in the dirt for ball 1.
Boska hoping to get the third strike across here, so that way Green Knights have 2 outs instead of 1.
Now 1-2 pitch from Boska. That's lifted into right center field. Champeau ready to tag both runners, tagging both runners safe. It's a sac fly for Andriana Vols, and St. Norbert's is out to a 2-run lead. Largest lead of the day for either team. It's 3-1 Green Knights. And Zoe Zasada will come up to the plate with a chance to add on. Morgan Jarvie still on base over at third.
And with how the Green Knight pitching has been going today, having 2 insurance runs for them might be enough to end up getting the victory.
First pitch goes for a ball. One 0 count on Zasada. They get a 2-0 count, another ball in.
Got a runner at third to be conscious of, but otherwise, if it's a ground ball, out is right there at first.
2-0 pitch. That's off the outside edge for ball 3. Boska in a tough spot. Behind in the count.
And again, this is the St. Norbert top of the lineup, which is where you do not want to be.
Here's a 3-0 pitch. And that catches the inside edge for strike 1. Barely. able to nick it. So Zasada with a 3-1 count now. Pitch on the way. And she hits her. First hit batter of the day for Boska. Zasada heads to first. And it's runners at the corners for Grendel Sprong.
Grendel Sprong hoping that she can get a hit, add another one to this Knights lead, give him a 4-run lead instead of a 3-1.
Sprong flew out to second her last time up. And we're now going to get a mound visit from Coach O'Malley out to Megan Boska. Cougars, they have struggled to push runs through to the plate today.
And managed to plate one in the bottom of the second, but since then it's just been zeros all across the scoreboard.
Yeah, so you need to keep the gap where it is at just 2 runs. 1 run was already a bit tough for the Cougars. It's already been tough for the Cougars to get back. 2 runs going to be a little tougher with 2 innings to go. So they're looking to get the out on Sprong now. Boska steps back up to the rubber. And that's lifted into to second base. Campos is there to make the play. And that does it for the top of the 6th. The Green Knights. They strand runners at the corners, but not before they drive in a run to add a little insurance. It's 3-1 St. Norbert's as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Cougars looking to respond. Welcome back to River Forest. Cougars coming up to the plate in the bottom of the 6th for their second crack at Amber Johannick. They trail by 2. Outer St. Norbert's played at an insurance run in the top of the 6th. It's 3-1 for St. Norbert's, and we have a pinch hitter for Melissa Hajik. Eden Pufall coming up to the plate for the Cougars in the cleanup spot. Pufall coming into today hitting .250. She only has 4 at-bats on the season, so a very small sample size as she looks to get something going early for the Cougars in the bottom of the 6th. Johannick deals outside for ball 1.
And now if you're the Cougars, you're in a little bit of a different position because up until the top of this inning, the batter represented the tying run. Now you need to get at least 1 runner on if you want to end up going deep.
This Cougars offense is very capable of doing that as Pufall stands in with a 1-0 count, make it a 2-0 count. And you look at how the pitching strategy's been for the Green Knights. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do with the doubleheader. They've used both of their 2 most used pitchers already today. Johannick has the most innings on the season for St. Norbert's as she catches the inside edge for a 2-1 count on Pufall.
That is interesting. If Johannick ends up finishing this game, she'll have gone 3 innings, and Thielen will have gone 4. So it does bring the question of what you do in game number 2.
And I mean, softball, you have a little more longevity with those arms compared to baseball, just with the pitching style. But even then, that's not the biggest concern. Isn't the endurance? It's the fact that the Cougars lineup will have already seen both of your pitchers already. As Johannick deals a 5-pitch walk to Pufall, the Cougars get the leadoff batter on for the 2nd inning in a row. For the first time since the 4th inning, last inning was 4 batters.
And now if you're the Cougs, you're hoping, all right, we got 1 on. You got the
walks. Anything that gets you on base would be a win at this point in the game as she fouls that back for strike 1.
And if you're the Cougars, you'll even take a walk here because, again, you'd have runners on 1st and 2nd with no outs.
0-1 count on Santos. Johannick winds, deals. It's a bunt, foul down the third baseline. Too much angle on it for Santos.
And Santos has speed, so if she lays down a good bunt, she's got a chance of beating it out, but fortunately for her, that one just ended up going foul.
Now with 2 strikes, bunt's probably out of the equation, so Santos going to have to swing for it. 0-2 count on the shortstop. Johannick winds, fires. That's high and out for ball 1.
And for the Green Knights, you got to be cognizant of Hajik on first. Cougars are 4 for 4 on stealing bases today.
1-2 pitch on the way. In the dirt. Hajik's going for second. And they got her. Coach O'Malley tells her to stay, and she's going straight out for a chat with the ump. The throw beat her, but it was a slow move to get the tag over from Sprong.
Yeah, it looked like Hajik didn't have a big jump, but it looked like she might have beaten it, but guess not.
Cougars catch a tough break on the call at second. Goes St. Norbert's way, and the Cougars, they squander their runner on, so now it's bases empty, 1 out. And now full count for Santos. Fouled off by Santos to stay alive.
Santos now trying to stay on base, just trying to get on base, replace the thrown out base runner that was Hajik.
Full count on Santos. Ball 4, so the Cougars do replace the base runner. And, I mean, this is always a bit of a moment that sinks. You do have to wonder a little bit on the call to go for the stolen base. Hajik, only 2 stolen base attempts on the season, has both of them. St. Norbert's has been wising up to the Cougars' base attempts as the game goes on. And especially at this point in the game, it's a very close gap that really stretching for those runs isn't exactly necessary. But you still have a runner on, 1 out, 0-1 count on Campos.
But yeah, if you look at it, if Hajik had stayed on first and hadn't gone, now you might be looking at a situation where instead of runner on first, 1 out, you got runner on first and second and no outs.
Making 1-1 count with 1 out. Santos over at first. Campos 0 for 1 on the day. Drew a walker last time up at the plate.
And Hansel behind the plate has been eyeing Santos with every pitch.
And that's a grounder over to third, over to second for 1. Fielder's choice, runners safe at first. St. Norbert's defensively keeping the Cougars pinned over at corner number 1. So with 2 outs and a runner on, Mikyler Morris coming back up to the plate.
Morris had the big hit in the bottom of the second that ended up placing a run on the board for Cougars. We're hoping that she kind of recreate that here with another good hit.
First pitch goes inside for a ball. One 0 count, 1 man on, 2 outs. And Morris straight to Malizova. Another well-hit ball for the Cougars that just has an unlucky bounce. And the Cougars squander another first runner on. It's still a 3-1 lead for the Green Knights. We head to the 7th inning. St. Norbert's coming up with a chance to add on some insurance. Cougars trying to keep the gap where it is. Welcome back to River Forest. It's the top of the 7th. 1 inning to go. St. Norbert's leads 3-1. They look to pick up their second win of the season and a conference opening win as Ava Engwall steps up to the plate for the Green Knights. Oscar deals. That catches the lower edge for strike one.
Yeah, Green Knights, as you mentioned at the top of the game, Jonathan, just came back from a 10-game trip in Florida. They won the first one, then lost the last 9, so hoping that this will get them to a 1-0 start in conference.
As Engel lifts that to right center, Morris settles under it for the out. 2 pitches, first out of the inning for Bosca, so with 1 out, that will bring Carly Linson up to the plate for St. Norbert's, and we actually have a pinch hitter for Linson. Addison Race coming up to the plate for St. Norbert's. And Race flies that to right field. Trolls there to make the play. It's another quick out.
3 pitches, 2 outs for Bosca. She's more than held up her end of the bargain on the mound. She just hasn't gotten pretty much any help at all from the batters.
First pitch, an off speed that catches the zone. A 1 pitch, fouls off the shin of Hanman. 0-2 count on Hammond. Bosca trying to get through the top of the 7th as quickly as possible. Get the bats right back up to the plate. And a short grounder right to Bosca. Out number 3. Hammond decides to swing on the 0-2 pitch. And it bites her. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 7th for St. Norbert's. So the Cougars, one last chance to draw back even. They trail by 2. It's 3-1 St. Norbert's as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th here in River Forest. Cougars, 3 final outs to try and get back into this game. They'll start off with a pinch hitter, Emmy Lucero, stepping up to the plate for the Cougs. First action she's seen today, and she has had a solid year for the Cougars. Batting .391 on the year through 12 games played. As she takes that first pitch on the inside edge for a strike.
And 2 runs really isn't a whole lot of ground to make up, but with the way that the Green Knights have been pitching today, it sure does feel like a lot.
0-1 count on Lucero. Johannick winds, fires. High, ball 1.
And we've seen the Cougars have some big innings this season. On Tuesday, they scored 6 runs in 1 inning. So we know that they're capable of having a lot of action in 1 inning. They just need to do it.
1-1 pitch off the outside edge, ball 2. Two-1 count on Lucero. And with 1 out, Ashley Schroll steps up to the plate for the Cougars. Schroll, hard ground out to second, her last time up at the plate. And Schroll grounds that one to short. Sprung over to first. A great stretch from the first baseman Ava Engwall.
She had to reach for that one, but she did beat Schroll by half a step.
Yeah, and if she doesn't reach for that one, she stays back. Schroll's in safely. Great defense again from St. Norbert. So with 1 out left, Emily Garcia steps up to the plate for the Cougars, takes that first pitch for a ball.
Just needs to get on base and keep this game alive for the Cougs.
1-0 pitch. Ball 2. Garcia 0 for 3 on the day. Two-0 count. Johannick fires. That's right down the middle for a strike.
Like you said, Jonathan, Garcia hasn't had a hit today. She'd love to get her first one here.
2-1 count, 2 outs. Johannick rifles it in, grounder over to third, and that'll do it. Jarvie gets it to first. And St. Norbert's, they break the losing streak, and they win their conference opener. It's a 3-1 win for St. Norbert's as they drop an L on the Cougars' head as Drops of Jupiter starts playing at the CUC softball field. 3-1 win for St. Norbert's Cougars. Just 2 hits on the day.
Phelan pitched an incredible first 4 innings, and then Johanna came in, pitched a great last 3 innings. Like you said, Tweena only gave up 2 hits and just an excellent pitching performance all across the board for the Green Knights.
Yeah, the Cougars just struggling a little bit when they get those runners on, whether it's a walk or whether it's a walk and error. St. Norbert's defense having a very strong day as they take game 1, 3-1.
There was a pair of fantastic catches by the second baseman for the Green Knights, helped to make sure that the Cougars couldn't score any runs outside of that one in the second. So just a great job all around by the Green Knights, defensively, pitching, and getting the hits where they needed them most when it came to batting.
Yeah, for St. Norbert's, big day out of Morgan Hansel, pair of hits and an RBI. As well as for Adriana Voles, picking up a hit and an RBI double for Zoe Zassida. Ended up getting driven in. 5 hits on the day for St. Norbert's, and they did strand 8 runners, but they got the hits when they needed them to get just enough runs to take down the Cougs. Big win for St. Norbert's Cougars. Tough loss for their conference opener, but neither of these teams is done yet today. They'll be back in just about half an hour for game 2 of today's doubleheader between the Green Knights and the Cougars. Green Knights looking to pick up consecutive wins for the first time this season for a strong start to conference. The Cougars looking to get their first conference win and bounce back later today on the Cougar Sports Network.
Much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.